Isn't it arrogant to say that Christianity is right and everything else is wrong? There's an old fable which talks about a bunch of blind scribes standing around an elephant. They're trying to figure out what it is. One at the back feels the elephant's tail and says that it's a piece of rope. One at the front has got the elephant's trunk and says that it's a snake. One feels its leg and says that it's a tree trunk. All of the blind scribes have different answers, but they're all describing the same elephant. And this fable has been used to show that there are many religions, but they all point to one God. However, the key question here is who has the full picture in the story? Well, only the narrator. Everyone else in the story is blind. Someone who says that all paths lead to the same God is claiming that only they can see the whole picture. Well, isn't that a bit arrogant? No matter what view we hold, we'll rule out other people's views. Even if we say that all paths lead to God, we exclude those who think that there's only one way to God. Many people think that all religions more or less believe the same thing, but actually, even a simple question like who's God brings up wildly different answers. Buddhists, for example, are pantheists, pan meaning all, theos, God. Buddhists believe that all is God and God is all. Hindus are polytheists, poly meaning many. Hindus believe that there's about 330 million gods and goddesses in this world. Jews, Christians and Muslims are monotheists, mono meaning one, so they believe in one God. But even here we see a huge difference, especially in their view of Jesus. Muslims think very highly of Jesus. They think that Jesus was a prophet, that he was born of a virgin, and that he went to paradise without dying. However, they don't think that Jesus was God, which is something that's central to Christianity. Because if Jesus wasn't God, then he couldn't have been perfect, and therefore he couldn't have died in our place. Muslims also don't think that Jesus died on the cross. They don't think that a gruesome crucifixion is appropriate for a prophet of Allah. Different religions also have different theories about how we get to paradise, how we can be saved. Some people say that it's through creating positive karma. Some say it's through doing good things. Some say that it's through being reincarnated as something greater each time. Christianity flies in the face of all of this and says that there's absolutely nothing that we can do by ourselves to get to paradise, to be saved. It says that we've all messed up and that the only way out of sure disaster is through what Jesus did on the cross. Islam talks about Muslims' good and bad deeds being weighed on heavenly scales at the end of time. It says this in the Qu'ran, in chapter 23, verses 102 to 103. Then those whose balance of good deeds is heavy, they will attain salvation, but those whose balance is light will be those who've lost their souls. In hell they will abide. But even if a Muslim's good deeds outweigh their bad deeds, it still might not be enough. Muslims believe that they're at the mercy of Allah, and his forgiveness is seen as unpredictable. Chapter 5 verse 18 in the Quran says, "He forgives whom he wills and he punishes whom he wills." No Muslim can ever be completely sure that they'll be saved. Many Muslims are dominated by this fear. Compare that with a Christian's assurance of heaven, of paradise, because of what Jesus did on the cross. It says this in the Bible, in Ephesians chapter 2 verse 8. God saved you by his grace when you believed, and you can't take credit for this. It's a gift from God. I don't think it's arrogant when your assurance of paradise, of being saved, has nothing to do with you. And I think the real question isn't about who's arrogant, it's about what's true. C.S. Lewis, who wrote the Narnia books, was once asked if he followed Jesus because it made him happy. He said that he didn't become a Christian because it made him happy. He always knew that a bottle of port could do that. He followed Jesus because he believed that it was true.